Many feel that the magic has left the domestic Disney parks, Disneyland and Disney World, both bereft of much of the stuff that made us enjoy them way back when. Budgets are being slashed, apparently. But the magic has not completely gone out from the world. No, there is a place still where Disney parks are amazing. You'll find it in Tokyo. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve with videos of pure, unadulterated excellence each and every day. It is a joy and a passion, and we're happy to have Vash Sky of That Park Place joining us today on the same day, Vash, that you have a live stream at noon Eastern. Man, oh man, you guys are busy over there, dishing out the latest Disney news.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to be covering this, I'm sure, on That Park Place as well as Theme Park Universe. We're going to be doing a live stream today as well, about 4:30 or so Western time. So that should be pretty fun. All about this Fantasy Springs here that we're going to be talking about. And I do agree with you, Pro. I think your assessment is correct at the start of this video. The magic still exists, at least in some part of the world.
And it's funny that because Disney is not the one purchasing the magic any longer. When Nelson Peltz and his crew went to Disney World, they said that it looked a little long in the tooth. I have to agree. These parks once inspired us, and we could not believe how they were done. And there are still places in the parks that look that way. But anytime they do a new expansion, a la what they did in Epcot, we come away less than excited. And I want to show folks what can happen if the budget and the effort is put behind it. This is a tweet or post on X by Scott Gustin. It says, "New Tokyo Disney Resort released new video of Fantasy Springs, including an early look at Peter Pan's Neverland, Rapunzel's Forest, and Frozen Kingdom. Wow, the land officially opens June 6th. Now, we're not going to play this because it's a Disney video, and I don't want to get dinged by Disney for promoting something they're doing. And yes, we're pleased. I mean, if you want a positive review of this stuff, we're going to give a positive review, I think, because there's no way around it. When you look at this, Vash, and you see just how much effort and detail has gone into so many aspects of it, yes. This dwarfs anything that we see in the domestic parks nowadays, but that's because Tokyo Disney is not run by Disney. It's run by the Oriental Land Company, and the OLC buys the projects and pays Disney Imagineering to come over there and build these things and to design them, and they put their money into these projects. They actually care. They're not doing what the Disney parks do now domestically, which is to find every possible way to take a shortcut. So, Vash, what do you make of the idea that for people to go find what Disney once was, they need to go to Tokyo?
I mean, it's no surprise. Honestly, it's. I think it was a neck and neck race for a while here, up until about the 1990s, and that's when stuff started to shift and Tokyo really started to come out ahead. I think the perfect encapsulation of this idea was around 2001, actually, with the debut of DCA. In fact, there's a funny story connected to that I'll get to in a moment, but that was the year that DCA opened, I believe in February of that year, and then shortly thereafter, Tokyo Disney Seas opens at this very same year and just completely takes the theme park world by storm.
Right, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to Disney domestic.
Yes. Well, it's so embarrassing. In fact, they got early word of this when they finally had the cast selected that was going to be opening Disney California Adventure. They ushered these people, and this was like I want to say 1999, 2000. This is right around when the park was about to open, and they ushered them into this room, this Imagineering room, and they showed them the Tokyo Disney Sea model, and they showed them all, this volcano here and the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea with generative vicinity of the Earth and the Maricosta and just all these amazing things that you can see in Tokyo Disney Sea, and it's only been added to since then. And then they showed those same people who were just thrilled to see that what they were getting in the form of DCA, and they showed them the Paradise Pier model, and their hearts and minds and faces sank when they saw the disparity between the two. That was back in 2001, mind you. This is long before this drought of expenditures and investment has befallen the Walt Disney Company in the recent era.
So, Vash, it's interesting to me that you have to go to Tokyo now to find the best Disney parks, and it's growing. By the way, it's not this divide is getting bigger, not smaller. It's not as if the domestic parks are getting better and better and better and catching up. So I want to give you a story, Vash, and I think many out there will relate to this in terms of what we're looking at. And so we could do the Splash Mountain thing, and I've got some thoughts on that as well, but I want to draw attention to Tron for a moment. So Tron was a roller coaster originally designed for Shanghai Disney, for a place that really doesn't have roller coasters. And so it was designed for a population that didn't know what a roller coaster was.
Yeah, because I think they were finding in their, just to interrupt you real fast, they were finding in their research from like the opening of Hong Kong, for example, that there was a multi-generational aspect to visitation. So people would bring grandma and they would bring him into something like Space Mountain that they didn't know was a roller coaster. And then they would find out shortly thereafter in horrifying
They didn't know what a roller coaster was.
Right.
So with Shanghai, with the Tron roller coaster, it was designed for people who, it's like 60 seconds of this is what a roller coaster is, but without any loops or anything like that. Right. And it's a lot of special effects and whatnot, and it's fine. But it was also designed to be viewed from one angle because that's the only angle it could be viewed from in the park. And so when they brought Tron to the Magic Kingdom in Florida, you would have thought that, one, they might have expanded it just a little bit at very low cost, added a second part to it so that you actually get, more than 50 seconds of roller coaster. And then two, you'd have thought, well, they're going to take steps to make sure and ensure that, the sight lines are protected and people can't see the show building, because in this location, it's not the same as Shanghai. Like, you can see all around it. Yeah. And they didn't do any of that. They simply plopped it down. And I think there were budgetary reasons for that. Now the show building is clearly visible from huge parts of the park. American audiences are not thrilled to wait 2 hours in a paid premium line to get 55 seconds of fun. And so that I don't think has gone over well. And so I talked with some people in the know about this, and I thought about it myself, and I'm not sure that it's totally a budget issue there. I also think, Vash, that they probably were very worried about the idea of improving upon something they had made for China, because then China would be unhappy that they had the secondary attraction. And of course, Disney is always in threat, of losing relationships with the CCP in China. Sure. This is not that same situation, though, when you're looking at Tokyo. This is actual, the OLC cares in the same way that the Walt Disney Company once cared. And so they put this money into just mesmerizing, inspiring awe in the audience. And Disney doesn't do that anymore. They plop down roller coasters that don't fit in particular locations. They don't retrofit them. And they don't do that either because of budget or because they're scared to insult the country from which the roller coaster came. And that's kind of, I think, what has destroyed Disney parks. Disney World was recently named the biggest scam or the biggest ripoff in the country by a major study. That only happens if the domestic parks are treated the way they are versus what we're seeing here with Tokyo. Vash, what's your thought about the drop-off we've seen?
Yeah, that Casino.org report, I believe, had that listing, and I believe Disneyland was listed as the biggest ripoff in California, which is interesting. So both coasts, they're getting it pretty bad right there. Look, the Disney parks have had a history of adapting attractions for their locale. This goes back in the 1960s, 70s when Magic Kingdom was being built. Right, they didn't necessarily put an exact clone of Haunted Mansion in Magic Kingdom. They adapted it for the surrounding settings, which is Liberty Square. So you get a much different Haunted Mansion facade, for example, that is nicely incorporated into its surroundings. What's alarming with Tron is that, they literally just stuck it in place, and you can see various places of that big box structure, right? That houses this coaster in this very not so great way. Also, too, you have that walkway that is perfectly incorporated in Tomorrowland at Shanghai. And that leads up to the coaster. Obviously, they couldn't do the same thing in Magic Kingdom, so they had to retrofit kind of a walk up to it. It's just absolutely bizarre choices, and I think cost has a lot to do with it, and it's really unfortunate. I mean, look at the level of investment that we're supposedly getting, in all these different things. In Fantasy Springs, for example, That's a 320 billion yen project. It's about $2.1 billion. When have you ever heard of the companies?
That's the point of the video, Vash. That is perfect. Look, we're looking at it right now, Vash. I could not have said that better whatsoever. Disney talks about all of this investment that they're going to make. They're going to turbocharge the parks, right?
Right.
We have watched what they've done with Epcot. We've watched what they've done with these other projects. We've watched what they've done with Galaxy's Edge. We've watched what they've done even with Toy Story Land, which Toy Story Land is the best of all the things they've done lately. But you never see anything like this. This is so far gone. And what was the total you said again that the investment that we estimate they've put in this?
They've stated 320 billion yen, which comes out to about $2.1 billion USD.
$2.1 billion. So, folks, if you're out there and you think that the Disney parks are being supercharged because they throw big numbers at you, when have you ever seen this added to our parks in the United States?
Right.
But they can throw the big numbers all they want. You just have to look and say, we haven't had anything like this since you opened Animal Kingdom back in the late 90s. Like, that's how long ago you have to go to find something on this scale of being very impressive and immersive and amazing. And that's what this is. So this is, Vash, this is a strange video because on one hand, I'm congratulating Disney. I'm saying, Disney, this is phenomenal. This is amazing. And on the other hand, I'm not happy because I'm saying, Disney, you didn't pay for this. This is somebody else's park. Look what you could do, Disney, if the turbocharge label wasn't a bunch of malarkey.
Absolutely. I mean, if they were really committed to this, we would have had a myriad of these things already in place at the Disney parks domestically, and they just have chosen not to. It's bizarre. This is listed as a 140,000 square meter expansion, about 34 acres. What was Galaxy's Edge at? 14 acres or so?
Yep.
For $1 billion? I mean, this is one of the largest expansions ever performed at Tokyo, which is very landlocked, by the way, since the opening of Tokyo Disney Seas in 2001. I mean, this is a huge level of investment. And by the way, this is not even all the investment that Tokyo is setting aside here. They're replacing their Space Mountain attraction with something that's more similar to Cosmic Rewind over in Epcot for, I think it's like $500 million or so. I mean, they understand what business they're in. For some reason, Disney can't figure this out, and it's unbelievably frustrating because this is what is possible if you properly run this company. This is what is possible if you invest in your theme park product, and it would increase capacity. You could sell more Genie Plus. It would have all of these benefits, ancillary benefits down the line, and they just choose not to.
And the amazing thing is, Vash, that Disney could do this. There's no land issues in Florida. And I watch as these, we call them the pixie dusters, right? The Disney fanatics who will defend Disney at every point, and there are some vlogs and blogs and YouTubers out there who are in that category. It's amazing. They could have this.
Yes.
If they just pushed back against Disney instead of the way that they act, which is that Disney can do no wrong, and when they're given, terrible, let me give an example.
Sure.
So the other day, Disney comes out and says, hey, we're going to offer this amazing new perk in 2025, going to compete with Epic Universe. Here's what you get. For those of you staying in our hotels, on the day of your arrival, you're getting a free pass to a water park. Yay!
Yeah.
And then you think about it, and I'm telling you now, the pixie dusters went crazy about this. They thought it was the second coming of the Disney parks. And then I go and I look at it and I say, wait a minute. When you arrive, most people arrive for check-in at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Some folks are going to arrive later because their flights. It's very rare that you check in the morning. So you're getting a water park ticket that you probably can't use unless you literally drove to Orlando, not flew to Orlando, because that gets even more tricky, but you drove to Orlando and you brought your bathing suit and you leave the luggage in the car and you go to the water park, and then at check-in time at the hotel, you dry off and then you go check in. That's the only group that I can see benefiting.
Yes.
And it's a vapid, empty offer from Disney.
Absolutely.
And then you look what's going on in Tokyo and you're like, no, that's what you all could have if you would stop celebrating mediocrity. This is what you could have.
Correct.
If you forced Disney's hand and said, no, we want that. That's what we want.
Oh, absolutely. It's personified beautifully. The whole water parks thing to me is completely optics driven. It's putting out there that we are giving a value perk without actually having to actually do it, to actually facilitate, because so few people are going to be able to do this. For example, if you're coming from the West Coast, let's say you're coming from California to Florida in order to take advantage of staying at Walt Disney World property. Well, the earliest flight you can even get is, 7 a.m. probably? So 7 a.m., 6 hours to Florida. That turns into 9 hours because of the time zone difference. So you're arriving, at 4? These water parks close at 5. They could magical express you from the plane. You wouldn't be able to take advantage of it. And that's if you're, checking in that day. I guess they want you to, maybe check in somewhere else on the day prior and then check in the next day.
Hey, Vash,
or you can actually facilitate that.
Do you know how we know that Disney knew that when they made this perk? Because they could have said, with every purchase or with every stay at a Disney hotel, you get one free water park admission. Stop. Right. They didn't have to say on the day of your arrival. They knew when they said that it was almost zero cost to them, and yet another empty headline. It reminds me too, folks, if you have not seen this, we're not going to cover this in this video, but the Mandalorian video game announced for that earnings call, it's already canceled a couple weeks later. It's not happening.
I just saw that. From Respawn. Everybody's excited. Everybody's going, gangbusters for this. Already canceled.
Just in time to get you to vote on that white card, and then poof, it's gone. How about that? It's like Blue Sky, Frontierland stuff. Vash, you were showing this to me behind the scenes. Can you walk us through this a little bit, please?
Oh, please. Yes. This is the overview.
You've got the control.
Oh, yes. This is the overview that TDR Explorer is providing for all of Fantasy Springs. You can see the number of attractions broken down by each of these kind of lands that we have, or I don't know what they call them, neighborhoods. I don't know. But you have Frozen Kingdom. That has an attraction, restaurant, small snack shop. You have Rapunzel's Forest, 1 attraction. Peter Pan's Neverland, 2 attractions. Fantasy Springs Gifts, retail store, and you also have a huge Tokyo Disney Fantasy Springs hotel with about 475 rooms. You have 56 grand chateaus in there. Awesome stuff. This is absolutely phenomenal. We've been waiting for a Tangled Dark ride since that film came out, and sure enough, you have Tokyo facilitating that. I mean, how long has the Tangled bathrooms been there in Magic Kingdom?
That's how they use far too much. We got Moana. We got a splash pad that doesn't work for Moana in Epcot. Okay, quit asking for more. You'll take what you have and you'll like it. How dare you want more than what we're receiving?
Yes, that is a good point right here, and this breakdown's really cool. TDR Explorer, by the way, breaks everything down and gives you the real details here. For example, they show this. I believe this was at the display at D23 Expo somewhere. This was the ride vehicle for this Frozen ride. You can see it's much larger than their previous incarnations of this Frozen attraction that we see at Hong Kong or Epcot. So that leads a lot of people to believe, is this going to be bigger?
Disney's not paying for it. That's why it's bigger, because Disney's not paying for it. And this other company lives and dies by the theme parks being good. So they want their theme park to be good.
Absolutely, and they're in direct competition with Universal over there in Tokyo as well.
Disney just wants to milk their theme park so they can spend money on whatever it is that Disney wants to spend on. Implementing gambling into ESPN apps, I guess. I don't know.
You could say, I mean, that's
having Jasmine tea with the CCP with Bob Iger and his 2 shower days over there. That's what they want to milk the parks for.
Well, the issue is that they've made all these investments, right, in all these different business lines or industries or whatever, and every single one of them has failed. The only thing providing revenue for the actual company or providing a profit to the company after operating expenses is the theme parks. And so they're forced to take what they're making at the theme parks and invest it in other areas of the business. Meanwhile, the theme parks get nothing. The benefit that the Oriental Land Company has is that they are just a theme parks operator mainly. I know they're real estate.
Just look at this, Vash, on the screen.
Sure.
This is the entrance to those lands. It's just the entrance. Look how beautiful it is. And for folks out there who might say, well, now, wait a minute, you guys are harsh about Splash Mountain. being turned into Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Why are you harsh with this? It looks similar. It's like, well, because this doesn't look like a bayou, and neither does Tiana's quote-unquote Bayou Adventure. That's why we're critical, because this looks an awful lot like Splash Mountain's new incarnation. You're right. And none of them look like a bayou. So that's why we that's why we criticize it the way we do. Vash, let's put a bow on this topic, though. I think it's fascinating that folks out there could have what we see happening in Tokyo if they would just stop slurping up the lowest common denominators that Disney can put out there in terms of what they do. So, Vash, what would you like to see domestically from all of this supercharging and Disneyland Forward? And, ooh, look at us. We're going to spend a big $6 billion a year. We were spending $6 billion a year before. But what do you want to see, Vash?
Well, I mean, I think at minimum, can we adapt some of the projects that we've seen in other parts of the world for the domestic parks? I think that's I don't think that's too big of an ask, right? You already have the research and development in place to have put these attractions up before. You're not necessarily not a fan of cloning things. Can we at least get, the Tangled attraction, for example? Can we get that somewhere in the domestic parks? Can we get, maybe that Frozen Land, maybe that's that Peter Pan stuff? That looks absolutely phenomenal. It looks outrageous. That could absolutely help increase capacity. Overall, can we just get a level of investment that's serious? Not this whole, Disneyland Forward gets approved, we're going to spend maybe $2.5 billion. And, we're really going to spend 1.9, but that's neither here nor there.
Railroad, look at all of these IPs we've painted on here on this little painting. Oh, you're going to get all this. Oh, next year, don't worry, we're going to move all that over to Animal Kingdom. And look what you get. You get all those same IPs in the same way over here on Animal Kingdom. Oh, boy. None of it happens.
You have Universal. They don't tout numbers. They tout projects. Okay, stop touting us numbers. Give us some actual substantial stuff here. Be serious about your theme park investment, because honestly, it's the only thing driving the company right now. With all the other investments.
With what we're seeing over there in Japan, Vash, here's what I want. Okay, now that I know what they can do, here's what I want out of the supercharged, turbocharged money that Bob Iger talks about. And Josh DeMauro continues to can never deliver on. Here's what I want. Animal Kingdom to the east of Africa, in that area they have that's northwest of Expedition Everest. I want Australia now, okay? And I want an Outback ride that's like the safari. That's what I want. In Magic Kingdom, I want a permanent second road for Main Street with a huge theater attached to that. And I want One Man's Dream to be moved into that same building so that you not only have the theater, but you can go around and see what Walt imagined. I want that space that was used in Hollywood Studios for One Man's Dream to be used for something else that is also amazing. Maybe a museum of all of the cool props and things used in Disney movies over the past decades. When it comes to Adventureland, I want to walk under the railroad tracks, and I want to go into a new Encanto land or a Jungle Book land that features an awesome attraction, maybe a roller coaster that finally sends you upside down inside the Magic Kingdom because teenagers need something to do. I can keep going if you need me to, Disney, if you really want to turbocharge stuff. I'll give you all kinds of ideas. I want to be able to go from Storybook Circus, or I want you to modify the area behind Gustin's Tavern so that it goes over the access road to the Utilidors and takes us into a Villain's Land. I can keep going, Disney, if you want to know how to turbocharge your parks. But clearly, something is wrong domestically, and you are not. And I'll tell you how to fix Hollywood Studios, but you've got a lot of work to do there because you boxed yourselves in, and that was no good. But anyway, Vash, we see what can be done. We see what is done. We're going to hold Disney to the fire to produce. And until they do, well, it's a good time to be at Epic Universe real soon. Vash, tell the folks where they can find you on this great, big, beautiful web out there.
Hey, the best place to find me is going to be at That Park Place, where we have live streams every Thursday at noon Eastern. So definitely subscribe for those. We also post a series of videos every single day. So and they're covering a wide gamut of entertainment, pop culture, Disney, all that fun stuff. And you can also find me at Theme Park Universe Podcast. We do a twice monthly podcast covering all of the theme parks worldwide. In fact, there's a lot of stuff popping off in some of these other places with a Theme Park Wizard there. So definitely subscribe to that if you're interested.
That's amazing stuff. And folks, we are here to support good theme park experiences. We love Dollywood. We love Universal Studios. We used to love the Disney parks domestically. Still find some things we enjoy there and spend time there. But Disney needs to get this fixed fast. And I mean really really fast.
Agreed.
All right, folks, it's your turn. Like, share, subscribe. And, folks, drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. We would love to hear your opinion when it comes to the theme parks. Let us know, too. Are you willing to go to Tokyo to find that Disney magic once more? All right, don't miss That Park Place live at noon Thursdays. It's Eastern Time Zone, folks, but you can view it whatever time zone you're in and wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Oh.
What are you doing?
Well, you see, I wanted to get some inside scoops on Disney and their, different corporations, if you know what I mean. So I figured, by looking into this fistbowl and sucking it randomly with my own energy that I paid for, you paid for, I could do the whole experience where you can be a master and spy on your targets.
You're an idiot. If you want to get the inside scoop on Disney, or even other media organizations, you should check out thatparkplace.com and subscribe to WDW Pro's YouTube channel. That'd be way easier, more accurate, and, less dumb.
Are you saying I won't get accurate information this way?
No, you can't.
Who'd have think?